Hello everyone, this is Nona Gallego Martinez and let's talk about situational leadership. What is situational leadership? It is a way of adjusting one's management style to adapt to each situation or task and the needs of the team or team member. The situational leadership theory was actually developed by Ken Blanchard and Paul Hirschi in 1969 under the notion that there is no one-size-fits-all leadership style, meaning one leadership is not suited to all types of your employees. Instead, the model provides a framework for leaders to diagnose the development level of an employee or team for a task and adapt their leadership approach accordingly. 54% of leaders use only one leadership style, regardless of the situation, which means that 50% of the time, leaders are using the wrong leadership style to meet the needs of their people. That is according to Ken Blanchard, the author of The 1-Minute Manager. The situation leadership model considers employee competence and commitment levels, which may vary across different challenges and performance areas. It also considers the complexity of the task and the level of direction and support required from the leader. This flexibility allows the leaders to meet each situation that arises with a leadership style that will bring out the best in employees and give them the highest chance of success. We actually have 4 situation leadership styles. The first one is telling. In this leadership style, the leader tells people what to do and how to do it. Telling or directing is useful when a team or team member requires close supervision and regular guidance. The leader makes decisions and directs the team or team members on their roles. This can include providing instructions to novice team members or taking charge in an emergency. The second one is selling. This style involves more back and forth between leaders and followers. Leaders sell their ideas and message to get group members to buy into the process. Selling or persuading is useful when a team or team member has some competence, but perhaps not everyone or not enough to be successful, or when they are unmotivated. The leader is open to feedback and collaboration in order to boost the team or team members' participation. Leaders utilizing this style may be helping team members to develop or improve their skills or encouraging buy-in to a larger vision. The third one is participating. In this approach, the leader offers less direction and allows members of the group to take a more active role in coming up with ideas and making decisions. In participating or sharing, it is useful when a team or team member has the competence required to actively participate in planning and decision making. Leaders using this style are typically collaborative in their approach to problem solving and decision making, letting their teams or team members make decisions within their areas of expertise. And the fourth one is delegating. This is the highest form of a situation leadership style. This is characterized by a less involved or hands-off approach to leadership. Group members tend to make most of the decisions and take most of the responsibility for what happens. Delegating is useful when a team or team member has a high level of competence and is actually self-motivated. Leaders leveraging this style will set a vision, outline desired outcomes, grant clear authority, and then get out of the way. There is actually this thing which is maturity level. The right style of leadership actually depends greatly on the maturity level, meaning the level of knowledge and competence, not really the age of the employee. Hersey and Blancard's theory identifies four different levels of maturity, including maturity level 1, group members lack the knowledge, skills, and willingness to complete the task. Group members are willing and enthusiastic but lack the ability. That is for maturity 2. Maturity level 3, group members have the skills and capability to complete the task but are unwilling to take responsibility. And maturity level 4, group members are highly skilled and willing to complete the task. Let's try to match the leadership style to their maturity level. Leadership styles may be matched with maturity levels. The Hersey-Blancard model suggests that the following leadership styles are the most appropriate for these maturity levels. For the matching styles, the low maturity level or M1 is matched or suited to telling style. Medium maturity level for selling. Medium maturity level, which is for participating, and high maturity is for delegating. How it works: low competence to high commitment. These are developing team members who may not yet have the specific skill set required for a task, but they have a high level of commitment to the task itself. This might call for a more directive style in which the leader tells the employee what to do and how and when to do it. What can help? Connecting them to more experienced peers and side-by-side coaching in the flow of work to accelerate skills development. This is very much necessary to those novice members. We can actually provide help to them by telling them what to do or directing them on how to do their work, or by pairing them to more experienced peers. Some competence or low commitment. These are team members who may have some skills but not at the level required to be successful in performing a task and who aren't fully engaged in the mission. This often calls for a leadership style where the leader coaches team members in how to solve problems and engages them in the process. What can help with this one? Demonstrate commitment to the individual by recognizing their specific contributions, supporting their development needs, and taking openly about your own search for meaning and purpose in the work. Next, we have high competence to variable commitment. These developed team members are highly skilled, sometimes more expert than the leader in their field, but they may be experiencing a lack of drive or confidence around performing a particular task. The most appropriate leadership style to use here is one that supports team members and encourages participation, so the skills and knowledge of the team can be applied to the challenge at hand. What can help with this one? Tapping into a team member's desire for impact and sense of meaning or purpose. The last one, high competence to high commitment. These developed team members are highly skilled, sometimes more than the leader, and they have a high level of motivation and commitment. The leadership style that best supports this situation is actually delegation, where the leader empowers team members to make decisions and take independent action within clearly defined boundaries toward achieving agreed upon goals. We all know that not all the time the leader is the most knowledgeable part of the team. That is why the leadership style here is delegating. The leader must know how to delegate tasks or make use of each member's strengths in order to successfully come out with an output. What can help? Share more context about the organizational goals and constraints so the team member can make more informed decisions and better developed approaches that achieve the organization's goals. We have here the model. So for the first one, telling, provide specific instructions and closely supervise performance, selling, explain decisions, and provide opportunity for clarification. Participating, share ideas and facilitate in decision making. And delegating, turn over responsibility for the decision and implementation. We actually have situational leadership too. What is this one and how does it differ from the first one that we have discussed? Here, the Situational Leadership 2 or SL2 model was developed by Kenneth Blancard and builds on Blancard and Hersey's original theory. According to the revised version of the theory, effective leaders must base their behavior on the developmental level of group members for specific tasks. Competence and commitment. The developmental level is determined by each individual's level of competence and commitment. These levels include enthusiastic beginner, which means high commitment with low competence. Next, delusioned learner. Some competence but setbacks have led to low commitment. Next, capable but cautious performer. These types of employees are having competence that is growing, but the level of commitment varies. And the last one, self-reliant achiever, high competence and high commitment. SL2 also suggests that effective leadership is dependent on two key behaviors, supporting and directing. Directing behaviors include giving specific directions and instructions and attempting to control the behavior of group members. Supporting behaviors include actions such as encouraging subordinates, listening, and offering recognition and feedback. The theory identifies four basic leadership styles, including directing, high on directing behaviors, on low on supporting behaviors. Coaching, high on both directing and supporting behaviors. For supporting, low on directing behavior and high on supporting behaviors. And for delegating, low on both directing and supporting behaviors. The main point of SL2 theory is that not one of these four leadership styles is best. Instead, an effective leader will actually match his or her behavior to the developmental skill of each subordinate for the task at hand. A strong leader should develop the following characteristics of situational leadership include flexibility. What does it mean? A situational leader is paying close attention to the changing needs of a team, task, and organization, and adjusts their leadership style as needed to bring out the best in team members and ensure successful outcome. Active listening in order to identify what is going on and accurately diagnose and provide what team members need. A situational leader must constantly leverage their active listening skills and seek to understand. We also have clear direction. Situational leaders must be effective at providing the level of support and direction team members require. Encourage participation. Situational leaders engaged in behaviors that create psychological safety and opportunities for team members to share their thoughts, experience, and input. They also have the skills required to effectively delegate authority to team members as appropriate. Coaching skills. To be most effective, situational leaders need to develop their ability to coach a wide range of developmental levels so they can meet team members where they are and support them in getting where they need to be. How about the disadvantages of instructional leaders? Can create confusion. Depending on how clearly a situational leader communicates, this leadership style can cause confusion within teams and organizations if employees perceive the leader to be arbitrary and inconsistent in their leadership approach. Typically focused on short-term goals. The tendency for situational leaders to focus on responding to what is arising in the present or in the present moment can cause a disconnect from the larger vision. A strong situational leader will take into an account and develop their ability to keep long-term goals in sight even when handling short-term issues. Also, risks putting too much responsibility on the leader. Situational leadership requires the ability to discern and assess what is needed in any given situation so the leader can respond appropriately. When evaluating the competence and commitment of each team member, leaders may not have all the skills or knowledge needed to make an accurate assessment, or they may be misled, especially if an employee is trying to appear knowledgeable. Sometimes leaders confuse emotional maturity and confidence with experience based maturity and competence. For the final thoughts, well, the ability to adapt to different people and situations can make for a more versatile, effective leader who does well in a diverse team and dynamic work environment. Bottom line here is, again, no size fits all. Depending on the situation, there is a best leadership approach. But that's not to say that the other leadership styles can work. Every leader is different, just as every team member is different, and may have their own style, strengths, and weaknesses. Sometimes simply being aware of the different styles can make a leader more aware of their own style, borrowing bits and pieces to improve their leadership skills. Before we end up, let's try to remember this quote. Remember the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss says go, a leader says let's go. That is according to E.M. Kelly. So, are you a boss or are you a leader? Thank you so much for listening, and here are my references. Till next time, goodbye.